John Brenkus, the man behind the metrics and the silent battle that took him. John Brenkus wasn't just the science guy in goggles, breaking down dunks and tackles. He was the guy who made us believe that everything in sports, every jaw-dropping move, and every lightning-fast sprint could be explained with physics, formulas, and a slow-mo replay. But on May 31st, 2025, at just 54 years old, the world lost that voice. And the real story behind John Brenkus's cause of death reveals so much more than stats and segments. This is about the man who built sports science from scratch, and the quiet battles he fought off camera, battles that even the most advanced sensors couldn't detect. From wind tunnels to ESPN, John's unlikely origin story. Before the Emmys, before the biomechanics, John was just a curious kid in Vienna, Virginia. While other kids played baseball, John was building wind tunnels in the garage. Yes, actual wind tunnels, with coat hangers and ribbon scraps to test airflow on paper planes. By high school, he was that kid helping others with physics homework before dinner. Obsessed with numbers, obsessed with why. College? Brief. He dropped out of UVA to chase something bigger. That something turned into sports science, and it would change sports TV forever. Breaking it all down, the rise of sports science. Launched in 2007 on Fox Sports Net, sports science took athletes and put their bodies to the test. High-speed cameras, force plates, crazy contraptions. And in the middle of it all, John Brenkus, sliding into foam pits and letting linebackers tackle him in the name of physics. He wasn't just narrating the action, he was the action. Why could Marshawn Lynch break so many tackles? Why does a Steph Curry three-pointer spin the way it does? John found the math and made it fun. Within 2 years, the show racked up sports Emmys, and John became a household name among fans who never thought they'd care about centripetal force. And then ESPN came calling. The ESPN deal, and the moment everything shifted. In 2010, sports science became part of ESPN. John had made it to the big leagues. More cameras, more pressure, more reach. But for John, something felt off. In his own words, "I went flat out suicidal after the ESPN deal." He talked about it in a 2023 interview on Never Shut Up, his show on Brinks TV. The creative control was gone. The thing he built from passion now felt like product. One night it got so dark he tried to end his life, and the only reason he didn't? His dog, Cooper, licked his face until he woke up. That moment changed everything. He called his mom. He started therapy. He tried meds. He even went through cutting-edge treatments. But depression isn't linear, and not all wounds show up on an MRI. Brinks.TV and the GOAT Code. Taking back control. After leaving ESPN, John wanted his voice back, so he created Brinks.TV. It was sports science with fewer suits and more soul. He launched the GOAT Code, analyzing the legends. Wilt's rebounds, Simone Biles' flips, Serena's serve. He built rigs. He used drones. He even pushed tech boundaries so far. People said his lab felt more like NASA than a soundstage. He was working on a streaming deal. He was experimenting with AI. Some he was even in talks with researchers to compare athletes across decades. But the pace? It was punishing. And the darkness hadn't left. The music that helped him breathe off-screen, John had another life. Music. He met his wife, Lizzie Brenkus, classically trained singer, in 2003. Together, they made music as Brink of Midnight, even charting during the holidays. They wrote, they recorded, they played with their kids, Bryce and Arabella. It was the one place John didn't measure anything. No spreadsheets, no stopwatches, just melodies and moments. The end no one saw coming on May 31st, 2025, John's story ended. His family confirmed he had been battling depression. His death was sudden, quiet, and self-inflicted. In a statement, they wrote, "John lost his fight with this terrible illness. We ask anyone struggling to seek help." No details were given. No autopsy was released. But the message was loud and clear. The man who measured greatness couldn't outrun his own pain. His dog Cooper, the one who saved him before, survived him. He now lives with Lizzie and the kids. The legacy he left. Since John's death, views of sports science skyrocketed. Old clips went viral. Tributes poured in. RG3, Marty Fish, even sports scientists who now cite Brinkus-style analysis in their own research. Brinks TV traffic doubled. Fans searched for episodes they may have missed. Some say there's a full season locked away on a hard drive. unfinished, unreleased, waiting. His wife Lizzie said she'll only release it if it meets his standards. Knowing John, that bar is sky high. The final takeaway. John Brenkus made us see sports in a whole new way. He showed us that slam dunks have math behind them, that G-forces don't just happen in jets, that greatness isn't just talent, it's torque, timing, and tenacity. But here's the thing. The guy who broke down every move couldn't break free from what weighed him down. So if there's one thing to take from John's story, let it be this. Even the smartest, strongest minds can struggle, and no amount of data can replace real support. If you or someone you know is struggling, don't wait. Reach out. And remember John, not just as the voice of sports science, but as the human being behind it. Brilliant, passionate, and doing his best to fight something most people never even saw.